Hi everyone, welcome back and thank you for joining me today. You probably can't tell because you don't see very much of me, but I'm no longer pregnant. Everything went well and we had a healthy baby girl and it was great. So I guess I will just kind of tell you how that went. It's going to be different for every hospital. I was in Western Ontario area. I'm not going to say anything so I don't give away any identifying information, but I was in the Western area of Ontario, and there it was actually really nice. The staff were super nice to me, and during the labor and delivery, they were there the whole time. And so let me back up a little bit. So I ended up being set up for induction at 37 weeks because my blood pressure spiked, and I still had the problems with the gestational diabetes, and my blood sugar needed to be controlled with insulin in the evening, and it went up to, I believe it was 34 units at night, or 36. Either way, it was a lot. And well, it wasn't a lot, but it was a lot considering I started with none. So there was that. My thyroid, they were still playing with the medication up until the end, as well as the blood pressure, which spiked. So because of the spike, they had me go in at 37 weeks instead of the 38 weeks for an induction. And that was an interesting process. And I went on the Wednesday evening, and they put what they call a Foley catheter in, which is exactly what it seems like. It's this tube that goes up in, and it sits between the uterus and the bag of waters, just at the opening there. I don't really understand it. It felt really weird, and there was this plastic hanging out of me that you can just kind of tape to the side or just kind of tuck in your underwear or whatever. And I went in not knowing anything about that because when I was induced before, I had different methods. And there are various methods. You're going to discuss that with your doctor and decide what's best for you or what their intentions are. It's different because my babies were 20 years ago, so that versus today, there's going to be new things available. So I did that, and a couple hours later I started contracting, and they weren't huge, they weren't horrible, but because I'm like, oh, my daughter's needs sleep so that she can be with me through this, because it was my daughter who was going to come and be there, because as a nurse and a new nurse, I want her to learn as much as possible, so I thought it would be a very good learning experience for her. So I didn't want to wake her. I think I waited until like 8 o'clock in the morning. I texted the parents, and I'm like, this is what's going on. I really like to be upfront and honest and direct, and so that's the one thing about me that kind of was throughout the entire process is I let them know everything, and sometimes I felt like I shouldn't, but at one point they said that we're a team and we're doing this together, and so they want to know, and I'm like, okay. So I'd fill them in on everything. So I wasn't sure if they were going to come down and even make it on time because they seemed a little iffy and not sure how long it would take, and they have work, and I get that, and so it was stressful for them, and I think they're very big on control, and not having control over when it was going to happen was, I think, very stressful for them, which is unfortunate because babies are full of surprises. Anybody who's a parent knows that there's no control. You make plans and you do things, and there's routine, yes, but babies are unpredictable, especially when they're going to be born. They decide what they're going to do there. So, yeah, I went into the hospital a few hours later after letting my daughter have some sleep and stuff. And they ended up not being sure, but they ended up keeping me so that they could just finish inducing me. They ended up admitting me, breaking my waters, on the Thursday morning. Yeah, and then 24 hours later, she was born. There were some issues. The guys weren't allowed in because of COVID, so that was really sad. And then, because I really wanted them to be there. I wanted them to, this is their baby. And in a way, it's really good that they didn't, because I'm here to tell you right now that epidurals don't necessarily work. And I'm not trying to scare you, but just take time to consider what you're agreeing to before you agree to it. Because if anything, it kind of froze the inside of my body, but not my labor pains. And I felt like she was trying to break my pubic bone, or somebody took a baseball bat to my pubic bone. And I was in so much pain and yelling and screaming. So it's really good that they weren't there through the whole thing. But her heart started to drop, and that scared me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what if they send me to a C-section? I want them to be, as close as possible and here if possible to meet their daughter and to be part of that as much as possible. So as soon as the heart started dropping and they kept flipping me and flopping me back from side to side in my back and everywhere, flip-flopping me everywhere, I just looked at my daughter and I'm like, get them here now, because I didn't want for them to miss anything. And that was kind of my thing the whole time. We had a little bit of a disagreement just because I really wanted them to make sure that they were there. And I know that a labor can go really quick or a labor can go really slow. And this is my third, so it was completely unpredictable what was going to happen. Thankfully, they made it and they were excited and things went better than they seemed like they were going to for a while. So that was great. And she was born absolutely healthy. She did really well. She's absolutely beautiful. Can't show you pictures. I'm so sorry. It'd be a breach of confidentiality. But she's gorgeous. And I'm so, just that feeling that I had of all the trouble and all the anxiety and all the kind of frustrations that I had with the parents at that moment just melted away. To see the love that they had for her and to see, what I had done. I had created that. I had created a family. I had created a person and a family. And it was so heartwarming and so beautiful. So I know I've been really negative about the process, and it's not to be negative so much as to educate people on what it's like and what to look out for. Being a surrogate is a wonderful thing. It's so selfless and so wonderful. And I'd love to do it again. I went through all that, and I know I bitched and complained, but I would love to do it again. I don't know if it's practical, and I don't know if it's going to happen. I'm going to talk in the next video about the afters and what happens after you have a birth. But right now we're just going to focus on that little bit. So, for the record, my blood pressure is still high. The gestational diabetes is gone. When the placenta is out and the baby's born, then that goes away. I'm waiting on blood work. I'll actually go for blood work tomorrow, but I'm waiting on the blood work results to find out about the blood sugars, which are fine, but I've been taking them as a PSW. I just take them and they've been fine. They've been normal. But also for the thyroid and all of that stuff. All of that blood work is being done tomorrow, so I'm waiting on that. But other than my blood pressure being high, and the ultrasound results we're waiting on, and I will get in a couple of weeks, because that's when I see the doctor again. And we will find out about the fibroids, the uterine fibroids. So we still have some stuff to clean up and to check on and make sure everything's okay. But for the most part, we had a beautiful baby and I made a beautiful family, and I am so proud of that. And we're going to get into some stuff in the next video. So I will say goodbye for now, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. God bless.